Ladies and gentlemen, hello and thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you here tonight. This is Christopher Aaron. It is the 27th of December. This is going to be a special early New Year's broadcast. And by special, I mean really special. There will be no charts in this video, no charts whatsoever. So I want to let you know this will not be the regular gold and silver price update. There is some important resistance coming into the gold and silver markets right now, but I'm not going to discuss it right now. So if you want to skip this video, that's absolutely fine. We'll be back next week with more looks at the charts. This is going to be more of a personal video because I have had a number of people that have asked over the last several months how the pack is doing. And if there's one thing I could say about the pack, by that I'm referring to my dogs, and people have asked about them. And unfortunately, I do have to let you know, I'm sad to say that the white husky Schooner here has passed away a few months ago. And so we have been very sad about this, and it's quite a loss, as you know, any of you who have dogs. But the reason why I mention my dogs sometimes in these videos is because I truly believe that there is a fundamental principle at work here, which is the observation of patterns and patterns that exist in nature. And these patterns are observable in the natural world around us. And the financial markets, strangely enough, are a function of the natural world, human nature to be precise. And so part of what I do with the dogs is when I go out into nature, I observe patterns and I look for patterns in nature, and then I try to see how can I apply these lessons to the markets, and specifically to gold and silver, which are the most ancient financial markets in the world. And we're talking about elements here that come right out of the earth. So I thought I would just show you a few quick slides here for those who have gotten to know over the years some of the personal videos that I've done. This is when I first got Schooner, and he, by the way, was a retired sled dog that we adopted after they were not going to attach him to the sled anymore. So we adopted him a number of years ago, and he's just been a fantastic friend all these years. And then, you know, of course, he gets into trouble every once in a while, getting hit by a skunk. And I learned after the fact that tomato juice is not the best way to remove that smell, but we had to try it on the spot. And of course, then when we got the other puppy, which some of you know, they became very good friends, and this formed my pack. And we would go out into nature, and we would take rides, and we would go into the woods together and look for patterns and attempt to apply these patterns to the financial markets. But I always found that going out into nature without any distractions is one of the best ways to process my thoughts. So I just thought I would share this with you about the pack. Unfortunately, we are one less now, but we are carrying on here. And I'm going to do a little video of a walk that I just took with the other dog and some of those patterns that I observed today on our walk, and then we'll get back to the normal broadcast next week. So we are out here catching a little walk in the woods right before sunset, and I happened to come across this tree. Come on, Klaus, let's show him. Come on, bring it. Happened to come across this tree here, and it reminded me of something. Let's see if we can get a look. It's getting dark, but if you look up there at the way those branches are going, where it started growing up and then it curved completely back around in order to extend outward. And if you think about it, so this tree stopped in its tracks, grew down in order to eventually get to the light. In other words, coming from up above. So I just found this kind of fascinating as we think about these patterns sometimes. And as you know, I'm very big on patterns that exist in nature, and I believe that human nature and animal nature, those patterns are also identifiable and repeatable, and that we can observe them. And so I was thinking about this tree here growing downward in order to grow upward, and it just occurred to me that I think the markets work this way sometimes as well. If we think about the gold market having to come down before it continues to move higher, this is just an analogy that occurred to me as we were out here taking a walk. And I do think the markets also function as a component of nature, human nature, of course, being a part of nature. And another part of nature is throwing this giant log for him. Ready? So thank you for joining us on that walk, and I want to let you know that I really am interested to hear, are there patterns that you have observed in nature, your time in nature, whether that's in the woods or the ocean or the sky or anywhere else for that matter, that have helped you to analyze the precious metals or another financial market? I'm very curious about this. I find that it works for me and it helps me to think about things, but I would like to know from you if you've ever had that experience. So we will be getting back to the charts next week. Happy New Year to you. Oh, and I did want to show you, by the way, so just so you know, we are not all about short-term trading here. This is the most recent coin that I have purchased, and can you guess why? This is the Canadian 1-ounce wolf, and I bought this in honor of the White Husky. Of course, this is a 5/9 coin, and in general, I am not a purchaser of these semi-numismatics. They have a higher premium. Of course, this was a special occasion, but this is one of the most pure coins that you can buy in the world. So this was quite special when it came in. I just wanted to show you that. I do stack the physical metal here as much as I talk about the charts on a regular basis. So once again, Happy New Year. In the premium service this weekend, just to let you know, we will be doing a special 1-hour members only video that will cover everything that has happened in the precious metals this year. What worked, what did not work, what sectors of the mining sector are outperforming, underperforming, how did gold do versus the other safety assets, etc., etc. You can find more about that on the website. I will be back this time next week with a normal broadcast, and I do want to sincerely thank you for tuning in this year, 2017, and those who have been with this channel since the very beginning. Once again, my sincere thanks, and I simply will continue to try to present the best analysis of the precious metals with these occasional interruptions for topics that are also important in the broader scheme of life.